Aisha, 22 years old, was a serious and determined student. After her parents died, she went to live with her older brother, Malik, who took care of her with kindness. Thanks to him, she continued her studies by taking night classes to get her diploma. That evening, something felt different. She had a strong headache all day. She couldn't focus in class and asked for permission to go home early.
She just wanted to rest.
When she arrived at the house, the air felt heavy, like something was wrong. She opened the door quietly. Everything seemed calm, too calm. Only a soft light came from under her brother's bedroom door. As she was going to her room, she heard a whisper, a quiet voice. Curious, she stopped. Her brother was supposed to be at work, so who was Samira, her sister-in-law, talking to? A bad feeling filled her stomach. Her heart beat faster. Following her instinct, she walked slowly to the half-open door. She saw a small crack in the wood. Carefully, she looked through it. She stopped breathing. Samira was not alone. In her arms was Hakim, Malik's secretary. He was kissing her with passion. His hands were all over her body. It was clear they were more than just friends. Aisha felt cold. Hakim, a man her brother trusted like a friend, a man he always defended.
She panicked.
She wanted to move away, to run, but she hit a piece of furniture.
Bam!
The noise echoed through the quiet house. Inside the room, the lovers jumped. Samira looked at the door and saw Aisha. Her face froze. Surprise flashed in her eyes, then turned cold. "What are you doing here?" she said sharply. Hakim stayed frozen, his face pale. He knew it was bad. Aisha, shaking, held the door handle. I came home early, she said with a dry voice. Samira stepped closer, her eyes dark. "You saw everything, didn't you?" Aisha stepped back. "Listen, I will tell Malik. He deserves to know," she said, trying to be brave. Silence filled the room. Then Samira laughed. A cold, cruel laugh. "You really think that's a good idea?" She walked slowly, her shadow long on the wall. "Malik loves you, yes, but I'm his wife. Who will he believe? His naive sister, or the woman he sleeps with?" Aisha's heart hurt. "You're a liar," she said, her voice shaking. "He will believe me." Samira's face became hard. She grabbed a glass bottle from the bedside table. Before Aisha could move, Samira hit her hard on the head.
Crack.
A sharp pain exploded in Aisha's head. The world turned. She fell. Then, darkness. The room was silent. Aisha lay still on the floor. Hakim stepped back, pale. What did you do?" he whispered, scared. Samira, breathing fast, looked at Aisha's body. Her heart was beating fast, but she stayed calm. "We have no choice," she said coldly. "We have to get rid of her." Hakim wanted to protest, but stopped.
He was already too involved.
"You're crazy. If she talks, we're finished," she shouted. She grabbed Aisha's arms. Hakim hesitated, then helped lift her. "We'll leave her in the street. If someone finds her, they'll think it was an accident." They carried the body to the door. Samira looked around. No one. They disappeared into the night. After walking a few empty streets, they put Aisha on the sidewalk, half in the shadow. Samira looked at her one last time. She won't wake up. Then she turned around and walked away. Their shadows vanished into the night. They walked fast, checking behind them to make sure no one saw them. Their hearts were still racing. "No one will ever know," Samira said through her teeth. "Are you sure she's?" "Of course. With that hit, she won't wake up. Forget her." Hakim looked away, uncomfortable. He said nothing, just nodded and walked faster. Minutes later, they got in their car and drove away, thinking they had erased all proof of their crime. Aisha, lying on the cold ground, tried to open her eyes. Her head hurt badly, a mix of her migraine and the hard hit. Her breathing was short. Her hand touched the ground, but her body wouldn't move. She wanted to scream, to call for help, but no sound came out. The street was empty. Only a few old streetlights gave off weak light. Time passed. A minute? 10? Forever? Then footsteps. Slow at first, then faster. A man appeared from the shadows. He wore simple clothes. He stopped when he saw her. Oh my God. He ran to her and knelt down. Miss, can you hear me? His voice was worried but kind. He touched her shoulder, gently shook her. Aisha opened her eyes a little. Her lips moved, but no sound came. Don't move, I'll take you to the hospital. He lifted her carefully and carried her to his car. He placed her in the back seat and drove quickly, eyes on the road. Half awake, Aisha felt the warmth of the car. Her eyes closed again. The engine, the movement. Then, bright lights. Voices. Fast steps. We have an emergency. Someone shouted. Hands lifted her again. Bring her to the treatment room. Now. Aisha wanted to speak. To say her name. To explain. But darkness came again before she could. The night was quiet. In a small neighborhood, a car stopped in front of a modest house. Malik stepped out, tired. His clothes were dusty, his body sore from a long day at the construction site. He opened the door and found Samira sitting in the living room, a fake smile on her face. Good evening, he whispered as he took off his shoes. You look exhausted. Come eat something, Samira said. No, I'll just sleep, he replied. He kissed Samira on the forehead without thinking and walked to their room. He didn't even ask about Aisha. He was just too tired. Samira stayed sitting, her fingers tight on her phone. Everything had gone as planned. In a few hours, someone would find Aisha's body in the street, and people would think it was just an accident. No one would suspect her or Hakim. But just as she was enjoying her victory, her phone vibrated loudly. Hakim. She answered right away. Tell me it's done, Hakim. Samira, we have a problem. His nervous voice made her frown. What now? Aisha, she's alive. Samira stopped breathing. That's impossible. Someone found her and took her to the hospital. She survived. Samira felt ice in her veins. If Aisha talked, their whole plan would be destroyed. She looked at Malik, deeply asleep, knowing nothing about what was happening. She made a decision. I'm going. She hung up, changed clothes quickly, and quietly left the house. At the hospital, Aisha slowly opened her eyes. A white ceiling, the clean smell of the place, a soft light. She was alive. She looked at the four in her arm. Her head hurt badly. A middle-aged doctor with kind eyes stood next to her. You are lucky, miss, he said with a calm smile. A young man found you unconscious and brought you here. Aisha tried to speak, but her throat was dry. Then the memories came back. Samira, Hakim, the betrayal. Her hands started to shake. I'm in danger. The doctor frowned a little. Don't worry. You are safe here. But Aisha knew that wasn't true. Because at that moment, someone was walking through the dark hospital hallway. Samira. Wearing a stolen nurse's uniform, she quietly moved toward Aisha's room. She carefully opened the door and looked around. No one. She walked to the bed and took out a syringe with a clear liquid. A cold smile appeared on her lips. Sleep in peace, dear sister-in-law, she whispered as she injected the liquid into the four. Then, silently, she left the room. This time, she was sure. Aisha would not wake up. But suddenly, a burning pain woke Aisha up. Her body felt like it was on fire. She felt very sick. Her breathing was short and shaky. Then an alarm rang in the room. Beep, beep, beep. Footsteps rushed in the hallway. She's reacting strangely, a nurse shouted. A doctor ran in with a worried look. Her vitals are dropping. Get the adrenaline. Everything became blurry for Aisha. She tried to move, to speak, but her body wouldn't listen. Something was very wrong. People around her started shouting. She's getting worse. We're losing her. We need to transfer her now. A loud buzzing filled her head. Then everything turned black. Doctors fought to save her for hours. She was taken to another hospital and placed in intensive care. Even though she wasn't aware of it, she kept fighting. And against all odds, she survived. 2 days later, Aisha slowly opened her eyes again. A white ceiling. Softer light. A different room. She was somewhere else. A figure stood in front of her. It was a doctor. He looked serious. "You were very lucky," he said. Aisha tried to speak, but only a weak sound came out. "Rest now. You were poisoned. Someone tried to kill you." Those words made her heart beat faster. She sat up a little, even though it hurt. "I know who did it." The doctor raised his eyebrows. "Tell me everything." Aisha took a deep breath, her hands gripping the blanket. Then she told him everything. Samira, Hakim, the plan. The doctor stayed quiet, thinking about the situation. Finally, he said, "You can't stay here. If she finds out you're alive, she'll come back." His face was serious. "I will hide you." Aisha nodded slowly, but in her mind, only one thought remained. Before disappearing, she had to warn Malik. She didn't know how yet, but she had to, before it was too late. The next morning, Malik felt something was wrong. Since he came back from work, Samira had been acting strange. She answered Malik's questions with vague, sometimes even contradictory phrases. "You told me you were at the shop yesterday, but then you said something about a doctor's appointment, right?" "Oh, yeah, I had to cancel the shop to go with my aunt." "You know how she is," she said, looking away. Malik, who usually didn't suspect anything, started to feel something was wrong.
Something didn't sound right.
And he knew his wife well enough to know she was lying. He didn't show anything. He just nodded. But from that moment, he decided to investigate quietly. Malik wasn't an impulsive man. He knew that to find the truth, he needed patience and calm. In the following days, he watched Samira. At night, while she was sleeping, he checked her phone. He looked at her calls and read some messages. Then he found a deleted text message, which he managed to recover. "Don't worry. The girl is dead. Everything went as planned." Hakim. A cold shiver ran down his spine. The girl.
Aisha.
The ground felt like it disappeared under his feet. Malik felt his blood boiling, but he stayed calm. It wasn't time to explode yet. Another message talked about a hospital. With a fast-beating heart, Malik took a few days off, pretending it was for work. He went to the clinic. After insisting and giving some money to a nurse, he got the info. She was transferred to a rehabilitation center a few kilometers from here. Malik followed this new clue. There, a doctor welcomed him, looking serious but kind. "Are you her brother?" the doctor asked. "Yes. Where is she? Is she alive?" The doctor nodded. "Your sister survived. She is safe here. It took time, but she's strong." The news hit Malik like lightning. He looked away, eyes full of tears he didn't want to show. "She doesn't know I'm here?" he asked.
"No."
"She thinks you forgot her." A heavy silence filled the room. Then Malik took out an envelope full of money and gave it to the doctor. "Take care of her. Don't tell her anything. I want to handle this my way." Back home, Malik said nothing. Instead, he showed even more love to Samira. He became more caring, more gentle, more present. Samira thought their love was coming back. She thought everything was erased. But actually, she was digging her own grave. Every night, Malik planned his next move. Meanwhile, Aisha was slowly recovering. One morning, she said to the doctor, "I want to go home. I can't run anymore. My brother must know the truth." The doctor tried to stop her. "It's too early, Aisha. You don't know what's waiting for you." But Aisha was determined. "I'm not afraid anymore." The doctor finally agreed, even though he didn't tell Malik. One peaceful evening, Malik and Samira were sitting in the living room, drinking tea and laughing like teenagers in love. Then, someone knocked on the door. "Can you open it?" Malik asked, smiling sweetly. "Of course," Samira said, happy. She got up, opened the door, and everything collapsed. Aisha was standing there, alive, strong, her eyes full of fire. Samira turned pale. How?" she stammered. Aisha said nothing. Samira stared at her like she had seen a ghost. Behind them, Malik stood calmly, holding his tea. In his mind, one question: why did the doctor let her go without telling me? What you need to know is, Samira doesn't know that Malik knows everything. Her betrayal with Hakim, the plan to kill his sister, but also Aisha doesn't know that Malik knows the whole game. The silence in the room was heavier than 1,000 screams. Why did Malik hide the truth from his sister? How will he confront Samira? Now that Aisha is back, will she tell her brother everything? Or will she get her revenge calmly? And most of all, what will Aisha do when she finds out her brother knew everything from the start? You'll get the answers very soon in the second part of our story. See you soon. The real game is just beginning.